Coffee with Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Sunday morning coffee with me. So excited to have you all here today, and I hope that you've all had a wonderful week this week. I really do. Now grab your favorite cup of coffee, settle in, and let's spend this time together. Now, I've been thinking about something a lot this week, and I mean, like every week, I'm thinking about stuff nonstop all the time. Thinking about what can I talk about? What can I bring to the table to keep you guys entertained? I know you guys are going to be chit-chatting all amongst yourselves throughout the entirety of the stream, but how do I keep you engaged? How do I keep you present? How do I keep you coming back? So I'm always thinking about these things because it's very important to me because, again, while it's important for us to be social, it's also important for me to provide value. To provide something for new people who stumble upon the stream to want to stick around. They don't know the people in the chat. They need to get to know me. So again, settle in and let's talk about some things that I've been thinking about this week because one of the most important conversations we've had in a long time, I think the question is simple. What is good enough? What is good enough? Because we spend so much time talking about consistency. We talk about telling people not to chase perfection. But we don't often stop and ask, what does success actually look like for different people? I think one of the biggest mistakes we make in health communities is measuring everyone against the same finish line. And we have to remember that not all of us have the same starting line. Not all of us were 400 pounds, 500 pounds. Some of us aren't here because of weight. Some of us are here because of autoimmune issues. Some of us are here because of type 1 diabetes. Not just type 2 diabetes. I mean, there's a great number of us here because of type 2 diabetes. But again, there's type 1 diabetes. There's people who are trying to battle these autoimmune issues. The different things that we come across out in the real world. Now, if you've been eating keto or carnivore for years, then your next improvement might be cutting back on caffeine, dialing in your sleep, getting another walk in every day, focusing on more steps. But what about someone who's been living on soda, fast food, chips, candy, highly processed food for decades like I used to? If that person makes small changes and starts cooking at home, cuts way back on sugar, starts upping the amount of animal protein that they're getting, and dramatically lowering their carbohydrate intake, even if they're still eating 150 grams of carbohydrates a day, that could completely change their life. And we can't judge their progress by our finish line, can we? Again, we have to look at where are they starting from? What's their starting line? Because I'll be honest with you, and it's something that I don't hide. I am all very, very open about these things. I wasn't always this way. When keto first started changing my life and the weight started coming off and I thought I had found the answer for everyone, people would ask me, what are you doing? And I would send them what felt like the complete encyclopedia of keto in one giant long text message. Everything I thought they needed to know, every rule, every food list, every warning, seed oils, things to avoid, all at once in one gigantic, long written out text message. And you know how many people that worked for? I'll give you a hint. Zero. Zero people. Every single one of them looked at it, basically said, yeah, that is not for me. And it still took me a while to realize I wasn't helping people with that. I was overwhelming them. Now, today I see things very differently. It has taken me 10 long years in slow increments, obviously, not all at once. It wasn't like, well, it's year 10, let's go. But, it's very differently, and it's taken me a very, 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 very long time. If someone starts eating mostly whole, single ingredient foods, cuts back on sugar, eats more protein, begins paying attention to how much food or how food makes them feel, and how much food can make them feel better, I'm going to celebrate that. Maybe someday they'll try keto. Maybe they will advance and become carnivore. Maybe carnivore will work for them. Maybe keto is where their sweet spot is. Maybe they'll find something else that works better for them. And that's okay. My goal is not to create copies of myself. My goal is to help people become healthier than they were yesterday. Now, that's one of the things about being a health coach. As a health coach, I'm not here to sell you on what I do. And I don't talk about being a health coach much, as I'm very new to it. I'm very, very new. I'm in the process of getting everything set up, starting to get myself in a place to bring in clients. I'm very, very slow at this. I should have already been having clients by now. But my goal to work with clients is to help them work through themselves to find what works best for them. Not sell them on what works best for me. My scope of practice is basically helping them get out of their own way. Now, speaking of getting out of your own way in real life, let's have a little transparency this morning. Do you want to know what we had last night in our house? We had a box of Crumbl Cookies in our house last night. And I tried every single one of them. Were they delicious? Absolutely. Did I know better? Also, absolutely. Am I proud of that decision? No, not really. Was it good in the moment? It's always good in the moment. But here's the important part. One night doesn't erase 10 years of learning. One decision doesn't erase the direction my life is moving. I'm always struggling to be better today than I was yesterday and setting myself up for a better tomorrow. So I woke up this morning and I'm right back with my coffee right here. I'm planning to make some egg sandwiches today with my waffles. Basically just eggs, mayo, and beef gelatin, and then some eggs and cheese, because that sounds absolutely delicious. Spend time with my family, work on YouTube, be involved in some of the chats that'll happen in live streams today. Be excited to be here with you right now. That's consistency. That's real life. Now, I think that we have to remember that we live in a time unlike any other in history. Never before have we had such an incredible access to real nourishing food while simultaneously being surrounded by endless, highly processed, hyper-palatable foods engineered to keep us coming back for more. Think about that. What is Crumbl Cookie? Crumbl Cookie is a dedicated store for ridiculously thick, delicious cookies that are expensive, and they also sell dirty sodas that are hundreds of grams of sugar each. Now, do I blame Crumbl Cookie for this? Absolutely not. But we have to understand that environment, affects us all. Even those of us who have been doing this for years still have moments where that temptation might win. We're imperfect, folks. We are if I could talk, we are susceptible to the marketing. We're susceptible. I can't even. Susceptible. Studio. We are susceptible to our surroundings. If everywhere we go, we are inundated with candy, cookies, chips, snacks of all shapes and sizes, flavors, consistencies, textures, eventually we're going to give in, every single one of us. Maybe not today, maybe not for 10 years, but eventually, and that's okay. Because it is everywhere. The grocery store, the hardware store, the convenience store. You can go to the car wash, and they probably have snacks. But that doesn't make us failures. It makes us human. So maybe the better question is, what's the perfect diet? Maybe it's, what's the next best choice this person is willing to make? Because I think that is how we help the most people. It's not telling them that, well, you need to go carnivore, you need to go strict keto, you need to go lion diet, even with the people that we know for sure that would impact the best. We all have people in our lives that we know that they are full-on autoimmune disasters. People who are type 2 diabetics for 50 years, who, if they just did something better, would start down a path that would be better. But we are not going to win this battle. We are not going to get to a situation where the tides have turned enough to start that wildfire burning to hopefully impact the majority of civilization. Now, I was looking that up, and it's about 25%. So if we could get 25% of the United States into a proper human diet, I know what you're thinking. 25% of people going carnivore. That is not what I'm saying. Again, what am I talking about here? 25% of people who have actively started cutting back on their carbohydrates, their sugars, their snacking, and making better choices, upping their protein, eating single ingredient whole foods, cooking at home where they are able. Because let's be realistic here. The real world isn't cut and dry, black and white. Not everybody is able to cook at home. There are truck drivers who are on the road 7, 8 days a week. Nurses and doctors and people with lots of children and play dates and sports and work and full-time jobs, 2 jobs, people who are barely getting by, who need to do the best they can with what they have. And how do we help them, and how do we help guide them and offer them solutions to those circumstances that they are in? They can't be, well, just meal prep. Spend 5 hours on a Sunday and meal prep for the whole week, because not everybody has that. Some people barely have 5 minutes to get food together to put in their face before they have to go to the next job. Or they may get 30 minutes for lunch and they don't have time to go somewhere. They have to bring it with them, but they don't really have time to throw something that's adequate together. But how do we start setting people up to make better choices? How do we get them to understand what better choices to make? Even the smallest of choices. Even, and hear me out, switching from regular soda to diet soda. From regular creamer to sugar-free creamer. Is it the best? Absolutely not. But these small choices are like the wings of a butterfly, right? That lead and make a hurricane. Because if we don't acknowledge that these small choices can have massive impacts, eventually those people won't make those choices at all. But how do we make sure that those little choices become habits? Those habits become lifestyles. Those lifestyles change families, communities, and maybe one day we'll hit that 25% tipping point and start to spread what we are doing here like wildfire and make it bigger for the culture. Because, again, that's why we're here. Not to prove we're perfect. Not for me to lie to you and tell you that I had a perfect day yesterday and I didn't eat Crumbl Cookies. But to prove that change is possible. So, with that, grab your coffees, jump into the chat. I see you're all here, and we're going to talk to you in just a minute. If you are new here, say hello. Tell us where you're watching from, and let's have a great Sunday together, everybody, okay? I've met a couple of new people across this week, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. Hopefully, maybe some of them will jump into the chat today. Maybe they'll see that I'm live and come and say hello. But Evelyn is here. We knew that she would be here. Because she's the best. She's the absolute best. Good morning, Evelyn. Good morning. And we knew that Rick would be here. Good morning, Rick.
Rick. Let's get dangerous.
There we go. Now we can begin. Brian Airy is here. Good morning, Dustin and everyone. Good morning, Brian. Thank you so very much for joining us today, my friend. Woo! And SD Bradley is in the house. Hello, Mr. Bradley. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Mr. Bradley will be live with me, I do believe, next Saturday. We have not discussed a time, but I'm thinking maybe 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if he is agreeable with that. I'll be working and getting that live set up. I have to be mindful because while I can set it up on all platforms, Rumble won't let me do it within like 36 hours of the next of the date. So we'll see. I'm sure that 11 a.m. will probably be good. Noon if he wants it. He can sleep in if he wants to. Mr. John, Mr. Smoothie is in the house. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Glad that you could join us. Mr. Papa Carnivore Pete is in the house. Good morning, my friend. How are you? And Risa, lovely Risa is here. Good morning, dear. How are you? I'm so very glad to see you. And Mr. Gugahan says, running late this morning. Glad to see you are not here yet. I was like a minute and a half into this. I started this a minute and a half late. You know, it's been a lot longer before. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot longer than that before, all right? I consider it a win. We won today. We woke up this morning. We are here having a wonderful time. Angie's is in the house. Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you, Angie. So very glad that you are joining us. Mr. Hoosier Carnivore is in the house. Let's not forget that Brett from Hoosier Carnivore has put together a screening for those of you in central Indiana or nearby for July 27th. Here in Indianapolis, Indiana, you can find all of the details at lowcarbevents.com. I found out that the 27th is Indianapolis, the 28th is Cincinnati, the 29th, I believe, is Columbus, Ohio. So, no, Brent is not putting those together, just the Indianapolis. But if you are in Cincinnati, if you are in near Columbus, please go and check out the Healing Humanities documentary because it's important to support those of us in the community. So very important. There we go. Grab your water and duck eggs, says Rick, Mr. Rick. Risa says, got my electrolytes and coffee up early with the dog. Speaking of coffee, I haven't yet had a sip of this coffee today. Let's go in my Buc-ee's cup. Oh, it's so good. And by the way, Brett, I did get my ticket. I will be in the building. So if you want to see me at the Healing Humanities event, be there or be square. We'll take pictures. We'll shake hands. Probably some hugs too. Maybe Brett will introduce me to the man, Carrie Man. We'll see. I'm sure he's busy. Yes. Mr. Gugahan says, good morning to all. Wait, hold on, everybody. Everybody, hold on a second. Everybody stop and help John Gugahan find his coffee. He has lost it. It's got to be here somewhere, okay, everybody? It's got to be here somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow. Sorry about that. Anyway, Jabber Jen is in the house. Good morning, my dear. How are you? Good morning, Jen. So very glad to see you. I'm glad that you're here, and so I'm glad that Isabel is here, too. Good morning, Isabel. Good morning. Hello. Hi. How are you? I've stolen that hi, hello, how are you from a good friend of mine. Another creator. Miss $5.99 a damn she fine. She started out at 600 pounds. And she's worked her way. She's down under 300 pounds now. She's really doing an amazing job. I had an interesting conversation with her about a year ago, maybe more. Very eye-opening, dark-seated underbelly kind of conversation about parts of things that I was not aware of. So if you are interested in maybe checking out something that is pretty dark, check out that that interview that I did with her. Thomas says, my head is spinning right now, round like a record player, right? Round, round, round. Well, I hope that it's okay. I hope you are doing okay today, my friend. Mr. Pete says that he is drinking a super delicious cup of fatty coffee deluxe. Same. I'm having some espresso, the Nescafe espresso, and butter, heavy cream, and it's two different types of the Nescafe espresso. I have some caramel because Amazon screwed up an order and sent me 2 jars of the caramel. So I've been adding like a scoop or 2 every once in a while to my coffee. It adds a different flavor. I don't know if I really like it all that much because I'm more of a coffee flavored type person. Now, hopefully, maybe one day they will come out with maybe like a mocha espresso. Nescafe, if you want to do a collab, let me know. I'm here. I would love to get product for free because we spend a lot of money on your product. Lots. We've got three jars, comes every 2 weeks. Oh, yes. And Donna Ray is here. Hello, Donna Ray. I am so very glad to see you. How are you? She says, good morning, Dustin, and everyone. All of you. She says hello to all of you. Jabberjin says, nothing is ever good enough. That's my pop philosophy. I think that is baloney. Even bologna can be good enough. Hot dogs can be good enough. Switching from regular soda to diet soda can be good enough for today. But if we are not always trying to kind of streamline things a little bit, at least that's how. Now, again, that's me. I'm always trying to say, how can I do things better for me? But that's me. Not everybody is like me, and that's okay. But I think eventually some of us are going to get into just a place where we are just able to just live. Isn't that the goal? Isn't that what we're all striving for? A place where we can just live and enjoy life and not worry about some of this stuff anymore. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. I'm sure you're going to tell me. Please, let me know that you're listening. Are you out there? Are you listening? How many of you saw the movie in the 80s? I think it might have been 89, maybe it might have been 90, but Pump Up the Volume. If I was sitting here smoking cigarettes and eating blackjack gum, listening to obscure music, I could bring in the obscurity if YouTube would let me, but they won't. It could be just like him on Pump Up the Volume, but I don't have to worry about the FCC coming down on me. I have to worry about YouTube shutting me down. It doesn't matter where I am, they can do that. But anyway, that was such a great movie. I need to watch that again. Pump Up the Volume. Let me know if you've seen it. Jeff Fafa, the man, is here. Hello, my friend. How are you? Good morning. I'm feeling ducky today. I'm not exactly sure what that might mean, but let me know, what does ducky feel today? Has someone dunked you in a pond and ruffled your feathers? What's going on? Hoosier Carnivore says, I finally kicked soda. I don't think I'm ever going to truly kick soda. No matter how, like diet soda and coffee. Somebody told me in the Dr. Barry private group, as I said, I was just sitting down the other day and I put a comment in there, just sitting down with my coffee. It was like 1:45 in the afternoon. Just kind of getting to a spot where I could sit down and get some work done. And they're like, well, basically along the lines of, well, you still got coffee. And I'm like, I don't know. That's where, what is good enough? What is good enough? Again, like a lot of us come here because we are looking for something. We're looking for a respite from weight gain. We're looking for a respite from medications. We're looking for a respite of, the things that ail us. We're trying to find peace of mind and body. Now, again, what's good enough? For the most part, I don't eat carbohydrates. I don't eat sugars. I've given up smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. I have coffee, some diet soda. I tried not to drink so much diet soda because I was drinking far too much. Far, far too much. I think that's a problem. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to totally get it out of my life. A little bit of water. Just a little bit. Paint some happy trees. Anyway. Yeah. But again, like kicking soda, and I am extremely proud of you for doing so. I need to cut back on the soda, and I am actively doing that. But I kind of, but I think for each and every one of us, what does good enough look like? Is good enough like right to where we need to be and then a step further? I don't know. I don't think that there's an actual answer to what is good enough. It's an individual thing, right? Angie says, I believe it's literally one bite at a time. Setting small goals and checking off those boxes little by little is helpful. Tangible accomplishments. Yeah. Really, that's what it comes down to. One meal at a time, one bite at a time, one decision at a time. Now, that's not to say you don't come into this with a plan. Coming in with a plan, like when you first decide that you're going to make these changes, you need to have a plan. Do you go through and clean out your pantry? Get rid of as much of the food noise out of the house as you can. Yes. That should probably be part of your plan. But then again, we have to remember that a lot of people don't necessarily live in situations where people will allow them to do the things they want to do. Again, like my house. There's Fruit Loops downstairs. I open the freezer and it's full of these like Cinnamon Toast Crunch like bread things. And I don't even know what is in there all the time. I open up things and there's things I've never seen before in my life. I have no idea what it all is, which is beneficial because then it's not really a distraction. But I'm like, what's that? Why is that there? Like I open my freezer and I can't put more meat in there because of the fact that there's like a ton of frozen pizzas in there. But again, what does good enough look like for somebody who lives in a house by themselves or in a full house, and they're the only ones who are doing the things to better themselves? Like Shannon and I are the ones living in this house of 8 people, and we are doing what we can do to be the best that we can be. But there's distractions, there's noise, obstacles. Any cabinet we open. So do I try to keep myself stocked with the things that are going to help me? Frozen burger patties, hot dogs. Do I make myself my waffles and egg cheese sandwiches? Because not only are delicious, but they're easy to make and they are pretty filling. And then I can go about my day and hide out in my office, in my bedroom. I have a TV. I have everything I need up here. I have a bathroom. I don't have to leave this little space. It's like a little efficiency apartment. And they can do whatever they want to do downstairs. Pete says, sometimes I have some non-starchy veggies with meat. think it's perfectly okay. And the real bad boy is the ultra processed food, sugar, seed oils, fast food. Yeah, some people's good enough is Pete, where he's eating meat and sometimes some non-starchy veggies. That's okay. Some people's good enough is beef and salt and water. Some people's good enough is, again, just the best they can do. Should we always be striving for better? I think so. But again, if we're striving for better, then what's good enough? Is good enough consistency? So I was watching yesterday. Carnivorous Grandma had Coach Brown on. I've not seen him before. He's new, and that's okay. I'm going to probably have them both on at some point in time on a Saturday. So be on the lookout for that, because I think it's amazing to bring in all the new people. So I'm going to talk to everyone, share their stories, get their insights, because not everybody looks at things the same way. I know I look at things vastly different than a lot of you do. But we have to continue to question and have conversations. But anyway, one of the things that I was talking, they were talking about health coaching and all these things, and we're talking about consistency. And one of the things that I said in the chat was, what is consistency? What's good? Consistency for somebody could be 50%. Getting their consistency eating good food to 50% could be the big, huge, life-changing start that they need. Then get to 60, 70, 80%. What does that look like for them? Maybe even up to 90%. Because you have to stop and be realistic with yourself. If each and every one of you were right now, tell me as honestly and as transparently as you can, and a percentage, how consistent in a year do you think you are? Would it be above 90%? Would it be above 80%? Where do you think your consistencies lie? Because that's something I think is important for us to truly look into ourselves and have a real conversation and look at that. Where do your consistencies lie? Are you 80% consistent? Because there's 0 persons in this room, in this chat today, that over the last 365 days who have been 100% consistent. Now, if you tell me that you are 100% consistent over the last year, not that I wouldn't believe you, but I would have serious doubts. Now, 100% over a week? Sure. 100% in a 30-day challenge? Yes. Even maybe 100% on a 90-day challenge, I would truly believe. But when we're talking 12 months, 365 days, what is your realistic consistency number? Do you have an idea? Where would you put that? How would you calculate it? This is how we start to look at what is good enough for people who are just starting out. How do we get people on board? How do we get people to even look at the monumental nature, the uphill battle that is doing what we do? Because having somebody going from 1,000 carbohydrates a day, drinking unlimited sodas, going to fast food and doing anything and everything they want to do, to doing what we do, or what some of us do, eating just meat and eggs and bacon and some veggies, completely shifting their life upside down. How do we get them to take the first step? Now, Amy is saying that she's 99% consistent. She says, now it's a little bit far from me to put up on the screen here, but she says, I'm 99% consistent, Dustin. Unless there is something in food unknowingly, I disagree, Dustin. If I eat off plan, I get really sick. I eat carnivore, ketovore every day of the week. And then there's something that I don't see yet. Now, that's totally understandable. Because if you are a person that eats something off plan and gets physically ill, that is one thing. How many of us does that actually do? And I'm not talking like a little joint stiffness, like your ankle gets stiff, because that happens to me. If I have something that off plan, then maybe the next day my knees are a little stiff or a sore going up down the stairs. That's not always enough to keep me from doing something stupid, eating something that I know I shouldn't. And Amy goes on to say, it's only unknown seed oils and gluten rubs at restaurants that unknowingly eat because I don't know that they are there. Usually find out 2 or 3 days later I can't walk and in severe pain. I understand this. But again, even something like this. Now, again, in our community, we are, for the most part, most of us are here for a very specific reason. And we get dialed in for a very specific reason. Again, autoimmune issues, because something brings us severe pain if we eat the wrong things. So I would imagine that there are a good number of us where the consistency is much higher. But how do we, as Amy being a coach, she's a coach like me. She's got better credentials than me. She's got 2 different sets of credentials, and she's already out there coaching. She's already got a leg up above me. So, but with that being said, Amy, as an example, her experience, her lived experience, is most likely different than the people that she's going to be coaching. So how does she address what's good enough? And she says something very important here. She goes, however, if I didn't have this issue, I don't know if I'd be 100%. And that's what I'm talking about here. If you didn't have these issues where eating something off plan makes you physically ill, would you be as likely to be as consistent? Would you maybe even be in this community? These are questions that we have to ask. Because again, a lot of the people, a lot of you sitting in here in this chat today are here for very specific reasons. Very specific reasons. A lot of us are here. Most of us are here because we got to a point where we couldn't go forward without it. How do we get more people to join up before they get to that point? How do we get people here? How do we get people to pay attention before it's a necessity for them to be here, before they come looking for us on their own? I don't have an answer to that, but let's keep going here. Hey, Mason, Alicia's in the house. Good morning, my dear. How are you? So very glad that you have joined us today. She says, good morning, Dustin, and hello, everyone. And Donna Ray said that she is a work in progress. Each and every one of us are a work in progress. None of us are finished. None of us have figured it all out. And we have opportunities to make improvements every single day until our last one. Angie says exactly. It's not a bag of chips or a box of Mike and Ike's, right? Mike and Ike's are delicious. They're so good. It's so dumb. Oh, my goodness. Pete says, Senator Lindsey Graham has passed away at the age of 71 of a sudden heart attack. Oh, my condolences to his family and to everybody that he knows or knew him personally. I think that we're probably going to be getting some kind of announcement eventually sometime in the next week or so about Mitch McConnell. I imagine that there's something about that as well going on there. Now, I don't want to talk about all those conspiracy theories because this is not the channel for that. But I imagine that he is, if not already passed away, not long for this world, unfortunately. But he's lived a very long life and a very accomplished life, regardless of the side of the aisle that you are on. Sandy Blythe is in the house. Good morning, my dear. How are you? So very glad to see your beautiful face. Let's see. Pete says, I've been patiently waiting for my massive heart attack for almost 4 years that Rick promised me, but so far nothing. You know what? You know, I hope that we all live a long, healthy, happy life. Good morning, and God bless us to all is what this person says. Jolene. Well, welcome, Jolene. Thank you for being here. You must be new. Thank you for joining us. Papa Carnivore says, I was 100% perfect carnivore yesterday. Just had 5 eggs fried in butter with canned cod livers and a bunch of leftover pork roast with something butter chunks. I'm not sure what that is right there. But Aaron is here. Good morning. Dustin says, Mr. Aaron, the carnivore-ish guy. Well, welcome, Aaron. Thank you for joining us here. And Risa says, Dustin, I also had a few goodies this week, but I immediately went back to eating correctly. I did limit how much I ate of it, but I went right back. I also did not feel guilty, just enjoyed. Now, things like this, there's things that I plan that I do not feel guilty for. Like a birthday dinner. I don't feel guilty for having whatever I want on my birthday. I don't feel guilty. Now, things like this Crumbl cookie, that was a thing that I didn't really want to have in the house. I didn't really want it, but I wanted it. Does that make sense? It's like when you want it, but it's such like a internal battle. But I understand. I try not to feel guilty because, again, these are decisions that we make and they're micro things. They're micro impactful to our lives. Like the Crumbl cookie that I have last night, it's not going to be something that I think about in 20 years from now. I'm not going to think about it in 2 weeks from now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to eat my eggs and my sausage and my bacon, and I'm going to do the best I can because what other choice do I have but to keep on swimming? Just keep swimming, said Dory. Nancy Tanner is here. Good morning, my dear. How are you? So glad to see your bright and shiny, beautiful face. Evelyn says, hello, everyone in the chat. Sorry I can't keep up. I'm staying at a hotel and visiting with a beautiful keto friend. I love it. Look at you getting out being well-traveled, Evelyn. I love it. And Brian Dish says, good morning, Dustin and everyone. Brian Dish is in the house. Woo-hoo. And Donna's telling Jabber Jen, I fell asleep early last couple of nights. Didn't get to Barb's for a few days. Yeah, sometimes I'm on with Barb when she shuts down the party, and sometimes I don't even get a chance to say hello. Just depending on what we've got going on. And Angie says, it's really nice to see you in the chats on everyone's channel, Dustin. I am probably in more chats than I should be because I have other stuff to do. That support, showing up to channels and being involved in the chat and just being there is so valuable, I think, not only to me, but to everybody. But sometimes I get lost in those and I'm like there for an hour and a half and I should be doing other things. I've got a list of 1,000 videos to make. Shorts and long forms and things, oh my. Yes. Mr. Googahan said, I went for a bike ride yesterday. Left about 7 a.m. It was hot by. It was so hot that I decided to cut it short. But I still did about 32 miles. I was planning on just doing 32-mile bike ride. That's crazy. I haven't even been on a bike, a real bike. 26 years, maybe. I've been looking at bikes, but the bikes that are big boy bikes, big guy bikes, 6 foot plus guy bikes are like $500 or $600. I want one. Maybe I'll get one eventually, but we'll see. We shall see. But with everything that I want to do, with Keto Palooza and the hotels and the idea of wanting to go to all the places and all the things, and there's Hack Your Health, and there's Meat Stock, and there's not just Meat Stock, but there's the other things that go along with Meat Stock. Meat Stock's like $4,000. Because if you do like the $1,800 early bird package with the cooking experience, and the $500 Meat Stock ticket, and the travel to get down there, and the food, and then everything, and then Meat Stock might as well just do a cruise, just the Meat Stock cruise. Just take over the ship, 6,000 people on a ship. It'd probably be cheaper. The cheaper chicken. Oh, my goodness. Donna Ray went to a birthday party yesterday, wasn't even tempted by pizza or ice cream, cake, came home and had a steak. And a lot of the times I'm not tempted either. Sometimes I am. And Sean says, say hello to our keto friend for us, Evelyn. You got to text me and tell me who you're visiting, because I have no idea what's going on. I feel like I'm in the dark. Yeah, Reese is like, who are you visiting, Evelyn? Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, we do. Oh, my goodness. Aaron says, we have a local cookie place so much better than Crumbl. Yeah, there's other ones. We had one. We went to a cookie place last year in Alabama and at the pier or whatever. And they're like at Orange Beach, the pier or whatever. It's not really a pier. It's like just a shopping district, but there's like, I don't know, you can go there and like sit in this lawn and watch a movie. They just keep adding and adding and adding to it. It's huge. Like a giant, like a Ferris wheel and all these things. Forget what it was called, but it was a cookie place basically just like Crumbl. Giant ass cookies. Aaron said Crumbl Cookie is a birthday treat for you. Yeah, 100%. And they'll give you a free cookie on your birthday. They'll give you a free cookie on your birthday. They're like, come and get it. First hit's free. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Who are we talking to right now? Angie says, I made my adult kiddos apple cinnamon oatmeal cookies with sourdough discard the other day. I have no idea what those words mean. I understand apple, cinnamon, oatmeal. I understand that, but I don't know what sourdough discard is. I don't know I don't know. But she says, I love to bake. I'm baking fresh loaves of sourdough today. It doesn't tempt me at all. I love bread. I love sourdough bread, good crispy, crusty bread. I don't know. Bonjour, Mr. Christian Delorme is here. Bonjour, everybody from Ottawa, Canada. Good to see you. All right, Mr. Delorme, how are you and your lovely wife doing today? Hope you're both doing fantastic. So very, very glad to see you here today, my friend. Cook on your engine. Yeah. And Aaron said, preach, you're speaking my language. I don't even know what I was talking about 38 minutes ago. Oh, I need to be faster with this. I know Rick and them are like, oh my God, it's so far behind in the chat. They're like, I stay current with the chat. Well, good for you. I'm a weirdo, and I do not. Mr. Pete says my best tactic to avoid eating cookies, muffins, point the finger, then that, and say loud, poison. Now, that sounds crazy to me. Now, I celebrate the fact that this works for you. But for me, it sounds crazy to me. That sound like that's just something it's not going to, because I understand what it is. I fully understand what it is. And I fully understand that I feel better without it. But I can't just blanket statement. It just doesn't, I know that's crazy, and people are probably very angry at me about it, but it's just not something that's going to work for me. Oh. But Josephine is here. Hello, my dear. How are you? Welcome, welcome. So very glad to see you. All the way from sunny Australia. Yes. And Donna Ray is going to try her hand at real, not fake, real crispy pork belly today. So very glad to hear that, my friend. I'm excited, and I hope that it turns out just the way that you want it to. Jabberjin says, I did something really bad last night. I made some peach cobbler. I'm so ashamed. There's no reason to be ashamed. Zero reason to be ashamed. Because it's food. It's just food. Now, is it something that, is this a learnable experience? Absolutely. But is beating yourself up over this going to make it not happen? It's already happened. Now, how do we move forward from here? These are the questions. These are the things. And we beat ourselves up, then we feel bad. And I know how I feel when I feel bad. I want to eat more. I want to drown my sorrows and my disappointment in myself with more. Something else. Well, I've already made the bad decision and had the peach cobbler, and I feel terrible about it. But well, you know what? Let's have some macaroni and cheese just because I've already done the peach cobbler. What's the best thing you can do today, Jen? Not feel ashamed, but just make better choices today. JJ hit the nail on the head. Shame is a gateway for repeated behaviors. You feel ashamed, and then you're like, well, you know what? I'm already a terrible person because I ate this peach cobbler, so you know what? What does it matter if I do it again? But it does matter. You matter. And there's nothing shameful about peach cobbler. Just today, make better choices. That's all that we can do. Make a better choice for the next thing that you decide to cook. Make some scrambled eggs. I don't know what you have in your house, but make some scrambled eggs. Have some burger patties, some chicken wings, whatever you have. Put that together and make a better choice today. But don't waste the energy on shame. Because again, shame is just one of those things that shame just builds. And it takes us over. Kelly is in the house. So very glad to see you, Kelly. How are you doing, my friend? I got your email. Excited that you're coming to hang out with us on August the 8th. Again, don't forget that on August the 8th, we are having a meetup. We are having a meetup here in Central Indiana. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to put it up here on the screen so you can see a little bit of a picture of what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. because I'm excited to have some of you come hang out with me. But I know some of you won't be able to make it, and that's okay. A lot of you won't be able to make it. But hopefully a good amount of you will be able to make it, and you'll be able to come and hang out with me right here. Keto Meetup. Join us for a meal in community. Avon, Indiana, Buffalo Wild Wings, August 8th, between the hours of 12 and 4 p.m. This is not the actual representation of the Buffalo Wild Wings in Avon, Indiana. It was just a pretty looking Buffalo Wild Wings for the little poster that I made. So I hope that you can join us. Please let me know if you can join us, because that would be awesome if you could be there with me. I would really like that. But send me an email. Let me know what's going on. So many wonderful people are coming to hang out. I'm excited to see so many beautiful faces that day. But yes. Excited to see your faces. Sean says 11 works for him. So next week, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and Sean are going to be hanging out, telling a story, letting you know where he has come from, where he is, and what he plans to do next. You know how it goes. Jackie is here also. She says, good morning, Dustin, and everyone. That means all of you. Yes. And Pete says, I used to add a lot of French vanilla or hazelnut coffee mate or International Delight coffee creamer in my coffee. It's loaded with seed oils, corn syrup, chemicals. Yes, I understand that 100%. But I've never liked sweet coffee. I mean, when I was, well, never is a strong word, because when I was a teenager, I used to drink, a friend of mine would call kitty coffee. It was like lots of cream, lots of sugar, a little bit of coffee. As I got older, it's just not. Mr. Doyle's playing golf this morning. Have a good one, my friend. 6 a.m. already. Number 6 already having at 6 a.m. Or I don't know what I'm talking about. Playing golf this morning. On hole 6 already at 7:51. I love it. Enjoy your day, my friend. Enjoy it. 4. Mr. Prime Rib says that he's having black coffee. No, I'm sorry. Having a black and blue steak that couldn't finish yesterday. And no, I never reheated it. It's nice and cold. Well, that's gross. I'm not a cold meat person. Like pepperoni, sure, but I'm just not a cold meat person. At least warm it just to knock the heat off, just to knock the chill of it off. You know what I mean? And to me, like the things that, like what Dr. Kiltz will do, will pick up like a steak that's been dry brining in his fridge for like 13 years. He takes chunks and bites out of it. I want to. Do I understand what he's doing is fine? I guess. But it's still just like, and we have to also take a moment. Think about, how does that look to somebody who goes, oh, let's see what this Dr. Kiltz guy's about. And he picks up what looks like a fossil and starts chewing on it. I mean, you know, I respect Dr. Kiltz. Doesn't mean I can't be like, what are you doing, buddy? Slow down there, buddy. But again, we also have to think about, what does it look like to the outside community who isn't, I don't know. It just, I don't know. People will probably be mad at me for that, but you know what? I'm just telling you like I see it. I can't do nothing but be who I am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Donna Ray says, Sandy, you gave me the best compliment in my comments yesterday. Made me smile all day. Yes. Take the time. Comment on your friends' videos. Comment on videos with lots of positive things. Happy, positive, meaningful, impactful things. I get shown lots of different content from lots of different people in this community, people that I don't know, people that I've never seen before. I was in a live the other day with somebody. Let me see if I can find them because it's a new channel. Let's see. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, I got to add this video to my. Hold on, I got to add a video to my watch later thing here. There we go. So it's something about Dr. Barry. It's like life to your years. It's a Dr. Barry thing. I don't know if it looks like old Dr. Barry footage. So we'll have to wait and see what that's about in a little bit. Let's see. All right, I'm not going to find it there. Let me see if I can find my history. Probably going to be a lot in here because I watch a lot of weird stuff. Weird stuff. Let's see. All right, I want to put some links in here. Here's the link for Carnivorous Grandma's Live with Coach Brown. Here's that live that I was chatting in yesterday. There's that one. Let's see. There we go. High calorie human. Here we go. Let me actually go to his channel. Let me share his channel here. He's going to be coming on my channel here soon. I think he's going to be the week after Sean. All right. I like to shout people out, like to put things out there. Pete likes leftover cold steak too. I'm just one of those things. It's not for me. I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but I'm not even a big fan of cold. Like I wasn't even a cold of like cold pizza back in the day. Andy, I love Andy. She says, hi, Dustin, watching a 2X till current. Critical mass for change. Am I an all or none person or go to extremes? But sometimes that extreme gives me the push to quit bad habits. Yeah, so my thing about the critical mass of change is how, at what point, what's the critical mass for change for a population? So for all intents and purposes, once a population, say if we get a population to cut back on the standard American diet, we get 25%, then it would be something that really starts to push that change. Really starts to truly push that change and really starts to spark and really catch and can really make huge changes. And I'm trying to get through. And Brett said that the movie is really fantastic. I have not seen it yet. I know what's going on, but I've been really trying to stay spoiler free. If I'm paying $20 to see it. There are also dinner tickets available that you can meet up at Fogo de Chao here in Indianapolis as well. I do believe those are $130. Too much for me. Can't afford it. I am the poor. As far as spending $130 for food, I am not gonna. The way that I would be homeless. Okay, I would be sleeping under a bridge. Shander would throw me out of the house if I spent $130 and went to Fogo de Chao before going to a movie, especially if she was not involved. Now, Shander is not joining me for the movie. being in that kind of situation is not her thing. She doesn't mind going to meetups every once in a while, but that's not her thing. Josephine saying something along the lines that I'm a little, got news that my daughter needs to watch her back, and hearing the story. I don't really know what's going on here, but she needs some cameras put up. Yeah. Things run differently here in the United States. Let's see. Especially in the Midwest, depending on what state you live in. Let's see. And Brett says, thanks for shouting me. Man, I told you I would help promote this thing. I will do everything that I have. I have limited reach as far as central Indiana goes, but I will do everything in my power, my friend. Oh, let's see. Wait, I've never met Carrie. Yeah, I've never met Carrie before. I think I've just been in one or two chats in their lives, and I don't even think he knows that I have a channel. I don't think he knows I exist. Jackie says, getting ready for an open house today. Ha, ha, ha. Good dad pun to the man. I don't know what pun I said, but I love puns. Andy says, too much social media, delete all the apps, quit eating bad, quit all candy. Susan says, my phone is in my hand. I threw my phone. It will stay off until she goes to work tomorrow. Extremes. Yeah. I understand. Mr. Gugahan says, I found it. It was outside on my patio table. I forgot I went outside earlier. It's tough getting old. Good job. I'm glad you found your coffee, my friend. Aaron says, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Let's see. Comfort space and going to Healing Humanity screening in Toronto at the end of the month. All right. That sounds awesome. I don't live anywhere near Toronto. Andy says, hello, everyone. I'm in a state of, desperation to make my wife happy and my marriage stay solid. A weekend without my phone will be okay. I have to cut back. I understand. I understand that 100%. There are times where Shannon and I just have to be, a lot of times Shannon and I we're together 5 days a week. Every day we're together mostly, you know what I mean? She goes to work Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Fridays as well. But we're together. But there's times where I'm in my office and my office is in our bedroom and her office is out in our loft with all her stuff. And we work, but we chat. We chat on Messenger. We don't go much without talking or joking or arguing. We debate and we argue and we have a really good, healthy relationship and all its ebbs and flows. Is it a perfect relationship? I would say it's about as perfect as a relationship can be, I guess. We are extremely lucky to spend as much time together as we do. Most people don't get to spend that much time together. And if they do, they really begin to realize, well, maybe they aren't really that great together. But we argue and talk and we got into bed the other night and we were talking about something about human behavior from the dawn of time and at what point did humans start to begin to understand that things, really truly right and wrong and all these things, and how still throughout history, even up until now, there's just Yeah, it was an in-depth conversation for like 1 a.m. But yeah. Rebecca is in the house. Good morning, my friend. I'm glad that you have joined us today. Thank you so very much. But also, Andy, understand that I have nothing but love and respect for both you and Susan. And if you ever need anything, just holler at me. We can talk. Love you both very much. And I'm excited to hopefully get to see you guys in August. Because I feel like we see each other pretty regularly, but still. Always need to see my friends. Carl says drinking coffee and keto brains with Dustin and friends is a good morning. Yes, my friend. Salud. Yes, Jen. Again, just understand that there's nothing that we haven't been through too. And we're here. And that's what we're here for. Community, commiseration, positive feedback, all of those things. We love it. And Jackie says, you are absolutely right, but good enough is just a baby step. We have got to take another step after that. Yeah, I mean, good enough is, so I look at it kind of like this. When I started keto, I was not truly understanding what it was going to do to me. I had tried diets before. I had stumbled across ways of eating before. Things that would work for short periods of time, but then I would move on to other things, and there's been this, that, and the other, and then it was just really a long time of eating whatever the hell I wanted to. But until I really had an opportunity to start this keto lifestyle, and I had these epiphany moments after a few weeks, because there was a time where I was like, well, when I lose X amount, we're going to go do this. And if I lose X amount, we're going to go eat this. And because food has always been such an important part of my life, I was like, okay, when I lose 50 pounds, I'm going to eat this. And if I'm going to lose 100 pounds, then I'm going to go eat this. That was my goal. But those shifted. My outlook changed. Because then I started feeling the things that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, like the non-scale discoveries, like so many of the discoveries that I had no idea were even a possibility with changing a lifestyle, like the mental clarity. I had no idea that it was possible. I just thought, well, that's just how my brain is now. Allergy medicine. I'm just allergic to stuff. I'm going to have to take allergy medicine. Heartburn. Well, that's just who I am. I've had heartburn for 20 years. That's just who I am. Everything gives me heartburn. No idea that it was so impactful. The heartburn, the allergy medicine, the ibuprofen, taking so much ibuprofen because my knees would bother me, and all these things. And there was pain that I didn't even realize I had until it was gone. And one day you're kind of sitting there, I feel really good. But we have to understand that these things, in order to get people on board, have to experience them. And trying to sell them on these things doesn't necessarily entice them enough to make them want to try them. Because so many people have this idea that I can't give up X, Y, and Z. No, I couldn't live without my pasta. What do you mean to give up my bread? I couldn't give up bread. There's no way. Are you crazy? No, I have to have my six Mountain Dews every day. If I don't have my Mountain Dews, then I'm just not functioning an adult. I just can't do it. I have to eat my pasta. I'm Italian. I have to have pasta. I need carbohydrates to live. how can we get people to make subtle changes that truly inspire major accomplishments? How do we do that? How do we get people to follow along with what we're doing? I was reading in a subreddit the other night, the Keto Reddit, and there was a guy talking, or I didn't read too deep into it, but I just happened to read some of it. And they were like, my doctor doesn't like that I'm doing keto, and my spouse doesn't like that I'm doing keto because they're kind of partly vegan. And one of the persons in the replies was like, stop calling it keto. And I'm on board. We can stop calling it keto. We can stop calling it carnivore. We can stop calling it. We don't have to put labels on every single thing we do. If somebody is at, well, what are you doing? You just say, hey, I've shifted into whole food outlook, single ingredient, whole foods, prioritizing protein and animal fats, really, incorporating more eggs. And, I have maybe some cruciferous veggies every once in a while, some broccoli sometimes, maybe some Brussels sprouts every once in a while, maybe some onions. I like onions sometimes. And I've switched back to butter. I don't use margarine anymore. Avocado oil sometimes, some beef tallow every once in a while. This is kind of what I'm doing. Nothing specific, just kind of what I'm doing. Because I think we get to a point where we put a label like keto or carnivore on something, and the connotations that come with that name are going to inhibit people from truly giving it an opportunity, or even wanting to, or even giving it, an inkling to try it, right? They're not even going to give it a chance. That's where, sometimes I have some hot dogs, eat some hot dogs, some hamburger patties, eggs. I make these really good egg and cheese sandwiches in the morning sometimes. They're really delicious. That's what I'm doing. Nothing crazy. I like steak sometimes when it's on sale. I like chicken thighs with the skin on. The skin gets crispy. It's delicious. So I think having that way of explaining things and kind of removing, it's like more like, when we sit and I see these live streams over and over again, and everybody is so quick to say, well, I used to be keto, then I switched to ketovore, now I'm carnivore. Okay, cool. But what does that mean at the end of the day? How do we move forward? How do we get more people to join? How do we get more people? How do we help the most people? All right, Amy, you have a good night, good day, my dear. Enjoy church. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. I imagine you're having a live sometime tonight. Josephine says, so something's going on where there's something serious with somebody doing something so somebody else. Yeah. So hopefully you're not too hamstrung and you have opportunities to make things hopefully you have something, but I know where you live and I know that those are things, and yeah, good luck. Yeah, I got a video of some of those. So there's some chips that are at Costco. They're like $8 for a giant bag, and they're fried in tallow. I'm like, well, that's cool that they're fried in tallow, but they're still potato chips. They're still potato chips. I guess if you are somebody... Now, here's a question, though. If somebody is on the fence about making better choices? Is this a better choice? It's not the end goal, but is it a better choice? It's a better option to remove the possibility of seed oils, and they're just maybe, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully these are just potato and tallow, just thinly sliced potato with tallow. Let me look these up because I want to see what the ingredients are. Yeah, Boulder Canyon. Let's look at the ingredients. 22 ounces at Costco for $8. Boulder Canyon beef tallow sea salt chips. So let's take a look at their ingredients. Now, they are potato chips, so they are a junk food. But is it a step in the right direction? Potatoes, beef tallow, salt. Does this, and I'm going to ask this in a question here, and I know that some of you are going to be maybe upset at some of the answers, or maybe me asking this question. Does this count, or do these count as single ingredient whole foods? Does a potato chip, potato cut thin, fried in beef tallow and added sea salt, does that count as single ingredient whole foods? Does it? Does this count as real food? These are important questions, and I ask them for the simple fact that this, as far as potato chips go, is about as clean as you will ever get outside of making them yourself. Is this a better option for somebody who is not ready to change? Is this good enough? They're non-GMO potatoes, no seed oils, gluten-free. Is this a step in the right direction? Are these a step to good enough? This is what we're talking about today. Now, I know that for most of us, these are not something that we are going to entertain for ourselves, at least not in regular rotation. Sometimes maybe some of us, the curiosity may get the better of us. But I ask in all seriousness, for the general public, for people who are looking to start making better choices, is this a place to start? Does a thin cut potato, deep fried in beef tallow, pressure, imagine this is pressure cooked because these are kettle style chips, so there's pressure involved. But that's a serious question. And Lizzie's talking about she lost 40 pounds in 6 months with the potato diet. Is that the thing? Is that what Teller, or is that what Penn was doing from Penn and Teller? He did the potato diet. I don't know how long he did it, where it was just potatoes, no salt, no butter, no nothing, just potato, just boiled potato for like a month or 2 months. Is that what he did? But I think this is a valuable question to ask the community, because for those of us in the community, these may not be something that we would consider. But for those outside of the community, are these a step in the right direction? And Isabella says yes. Fascinating. Now, am I going to buy a bag of these? Most likely not, because I'm not the biggest potato chip fan. Now, Chandra she likes the black pepper kettle chips. And she for some reason, now, I'm going to tell you this, but you got to keep it just between us, okay? Just between us, okay? She will if she's having like one of the weird like cheat things that she will do is she'll get a bag of kettle chips, the peppered kettle chips. They have to have like black pepper on them. And I don't know if Boulder Canyon sells that, but I know they don't have them at Costco. She likes them, the curled ones with a can of tuna. So just a can of tuna. It's the weirdest thing. I tell you what. Just between us, though, right? Just between us. Oh, let's see. I'm an hour behind in here. I'm really behind. So I'm going to scroll by all these things. Risa says, I don't remember if I saw Pump Up the Volume. I don't think so. Well, go and watch it. It's a great movie. I mean, when did Pump Up the Volume come out? It might be 1990. Yeah, it came out in 1990. So they were filming it in like 88, 89. I mean, is it like, is there a remake of this? But it's Christian Slater, Samantha Mathis. I think Seth Green is in it. I don't remember him being in it. But I mean, really, it's Christian Slater is the main person. It's, in Arizona, an introverted and insightful teenager finds an outlet for his viewpoints. It's basically like podcasting. It's basically like a podcast, but in the 90s. Shortwave radio broadcasting. He would say whatever he wanted, use cuss words, and it's whatever was rated R. But yeah, I didn't know if is there an actual Pump Up the Volume? Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so no. Okay, I thought there was going to be one, but no. Okay. Woo! I guess somebody wrote a screenplay about a 2024 remake, but it was a woman, Jade Hunter, was going to be. But no, then I saw one, it was something else. But Pumped Up the Volume 1990. It's a great movie. I mean, it's a 1990s movie, okay? But yeah. But Rick is here. Mr. Twinbrook Acres is here. Good to see you, my friend. And Jen's asking if I've seen her garden videos. I don't believe so. I'm lucky to make the lives that I make. I don't have time. I try to watch people's videos, but there's just so many. And I hope nobody takes it personal. Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody knows. That's that good thing, like talks about like Bad Brains and Black Flag and Beastie Boys, and it's fun. It's a fun movie. I love it. But Sean knows. Everybody knows. Alicia's not seeing the movie. I imagine Cindy's not seeing the movie. Good morning, Cindy. So very glad to see you. How are you and Guinea Pig doing? Pete says, Aldi has keto cooked potato chips cooked in avocado oil. I recommended those. If you really have some chips for a snack, be careful. They are super addictive, delicious. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like chips, they are highly palatable, even if they are potato, oil, however, tallow, whatever, and salt. You're probably not going to find satiety with those. That's the problem. Now, are they a better option for someone who's going to be eating chips regardless? I think so. But we have to look at where somebody is starting from, and hopefully they will want to do better. Maybe that'll be a catalyst to start heading them in the right direction. Okay, I'm eating chips with beef tallow. Well, let me go ahead and, well, now Steak and Shake has burgers cooked, with beef tallow and their French fries. And they start down a path of looking at things and reading ingredients. Because that's what we really ultimately want people to take, be accountable for what they're putting in their body, right? That's what we're trying to do here. Trying to up the accountability, trying to get people to pay attention to what they're eating. They may not always do exactly what we are doing. They may not always be low carb keto, but maybe, just maybe, if we can get people to get at the far end spectrum of the proper human diet, whole foods, single ingredients. But it's going to be such a difficult thing because, again, every day we're inundated with so much stuff. Everywhere we go. Angie says, I love the 80s and 90s. Wish I could go back. Oh, staying at my age now, 52, and eating the carnivore keto way. I used to roller skate and bike ride every day. Yeah, I used to love going roller skating. I don't know, roller skating now would be a catastrophe because falling when you're 12 versus falling when you're in your late 40s, much different. Jeff says, things are not bothering me like water off a duck's back. I love it. Yes. Isabel says, I don't know if I saw the movie, but I remember the song, Pump Up the Volume. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Pump it up. There's that song get your booty on the dance floor. And our granddaughter, every time they would say, get your booty on the dance floor, she would stop and sit down and put her butt on the floor. Because she took it literally, put your booty on the floor. It was the cutest thing ever. Oh my goodness. Those are the things that you remember from your grandchildren. That's all the little funny little things. Oh, like we were driving the other day and I was taking her to the airport to pick up Daddy from the airport, pick up her daddy from the airport. He had been gone on a work trip. And she was saying, where's the airport? I'm like, it's that. And she goes, all of it? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, how much would it cost to replace all those light bulbs? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe $1 million, just throwing it out there. She goes, well, by my calculations, it would be 500,000. And I'm like, by my calculations, like, what's your basis of comparison, child? She just gets me. I love her so much. Aaron says, diet soda. I gave it up the past few months. I can do it, but I choose not to. If diet soda keeps me from cookies, chips, that's the win. I don't drink as much anymore. That's the thing. Can I get by with less? Because I also don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, I can never have it again. Because I know that's a trick that my brain does not do well with. If I can never have something again, then I obsess over it. But if I'm like, you know what, I've got a couple downstairs, I'll be okay. If I have some like in the house sometime, I'm not talking about having cases. I have like 4 cans of diet soda left in the house. If I can do that, if I know that there's some there, if I know that I can go to the gas station, if I know that I can go to McDonald's and grab a quick one, like, Sean, what are you doing? Anyway, whoo. But yeah, I just have to be careful. I have to be mindful because I can't. No, I don't know. I love diet soda. Christy was here. I don't know if she still is. Good morning, Christy. Glad to see you, my friend. How are you? Risa says, I cut back from 3 a day to 2 a week. Progress, right? I went so long without having any, and I know I could probably get back to that because I went like a year without coffee once. It was not a good year, but I did it. I was trying to prove a point. So, Amy says, I love cigarettes. Had to kick it 11 and a half months ago. Congratulations. Almost a year. That is amazing. I love that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, June was 16 years of no smoking for me. And it's just, I still, even at 16 years, I'll have dreams where I'm smoking and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I having this cigarette? I haven't smoked in so long. How can I do this to myself? But it wasn't one of those things where I was like, I have to quit. I couldn't make myself quit. I had to be in a situation where I was ready. My body was just like, all right, we're done. And then I just was. And that's where we are. Brenda Foley is in the house. Good morning. Good to see you, my dear. How are you? And Andy said, we made a shoulder pork roast overnight and the house smells wonderful. Yes, I bet it does. Sounds delicious. Sounds so delicious. Now we know that there's Amy. She says hello, and we know that she's already gone because it's been an hour. Oh my goodness. And everyone's saying hello to Amy. And Cindy's talking to Aaron. It's like, I totally agree with you about diet soda. Into keto, 5+ years, only gave up diet soda for 31 days in that time. Yeah, it's one of those things to where I know that it's inhibiting my ability to like my belly fat. I think it's causing me to have issues with belly fat. Too much diet soda, which is kind of one of those things like if calories matter, how is a 0-calorie thing impacting my body? It shouldn't, right? It shouldn't. But if it does, then calories are not what we think they are because our bodies are not bomb calorimeters. I think calories matter on a level that we're not ready to discuss. Or we haven't truly found a way to vocalize or put into the right words. Brenda says, I plan to prep some White Castle sized meat chips for this week. That sounds awesome. I do love White Castles. Oh, they're so good. Pete says, what I've found is that if you fall off plan, the key is to forgive yourself, get back on plan quickly, preferably at the very next meal. That's the best that we can hope for. That's all that we can truly do for ourselves. If we beat ourselves up, if we're too hard on ourselves, then the likelihood that we're going to not pick ourselves back up again and be ready by the next meal is highly likely. Because it's like what Alfred said to Batman. Why do we fall? So we can pick ourselves back up again. Yes. And Alicia says, I'm single who lives with cats. So for diet, it is perfect. Yeah. I love it. And Aaron says, Cindy, I am sure that I can do better. But it works for me. As Emma the Carnivore says, you do you, I do me. I wish I could be strict carnivore. Maybe someday I can get there, but I am not ready. And my question is honestly strict carnivore truly beneficial for everyone? These are questions that we have to ask. I think people should probably give carnivore a good go. I think it's a good way to kind of get things out of your life. But I don't necessarily think being straight carnivore is definitely not going to be for the masses. The average run-of-the-mill American is not going to be carnivore. Luckily, we can maybe if we are lucky, get them to be on the PhD spectrum at all. That's how we're going to get that 25%. And Jackie says, I can't math this morning, Dustin, so I would not be able to give you a percentage of how consistent I am. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, if I can be above 80%, I consider that a major win. Just being 80% for me. And Rick says, I've been about 99% consistent, I suppose. Well, I love that. And we've talked about Amy's thing there. Angie says, right now I am in a good, motivated headspace. Thanks to all of you. I would say I'm 85 to 90% consistent. Sounds about where I think a lot of us would probably realistically land. I like a glass of wine or a dirty martini about once a month, better than every day. Well, 100%. Oh, let's see. Carl says, I got called out for eating all the leftover cookies. I confess, I'm an addict. I walked by them in the kitchen and grabbed one until gone. Our daughters were shocked. Where are the cookies? You know, there are still bits and pieces of those Crumbl Cookies downstairs. There are. And the desire to go eat more is there. I got myself some whole milk downstairs. Some of that like the whatever it's called, Fairlife Farms whole milk downstairs for myself. I like milk every once in a while, and it's like the half the carbs, half the sugar, the lactose or whatever. And I'm like, but that'll be really good. But I've got to hopefully do better. I'm gonna eat those egg sandwiches. Probably eat a few of those egg sandwiches. So we'll see what I can accomplish today. So keep me in your thoughts, please. And thank you. Yeah, lead by example, says Brian Airy. Don't beat them down where when they make mistakes, lift them up. Yes, we can lead by example. Hopefully that the more of us there are, the more examples we can lead, and being understanding and not too pushy will be huge. You know what I mean? Andy says, I was consistent for over a year in 2022 to 2023, but 2024 had some really hard things happen, and since then I've been a struggle. I was good and healthy and looked amazing. Not anymore. It's hard. I understand. I was losing weight, and I got down to 273 pounds. I hadn't been there since the first time I was on my way up and hit 273 pounds. And I've gained so much weight back over the years. And can I blame the lockdowns and all of that? I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. Me being home all the time has a lot to do with it. Me not being out and about as much has a lot to do with it. Me being at home with I'm where the refrigerator is has a lot to do with it. The food is here. I try to stay up here as much as I can, but I do the best that I can. Tired Rick Carnivore says, morning, Dustin and friends. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us. I truly appreciate you. I really do. Thank you. Donna Ray says, I'd say my food is on point. My beverages can be approved, all zero sugar, but not the best. I get it. It's a struggle. But what is perfection? And another question, is perfection worth it if it is a struggle? If not having the diet soda, if you're always kind of wanting it and you're always kind of like, I wish I could have it, but you don't, does it make for a better life? Because no matter how clean we eat, no matter how good we do, there's diminishing returns on certain amounts of this stuff too. And I know that's something that we don't talk about either. We probably won't do that today, though. We'll save that for maybe next time. You guys can be angry at me next week, too. Oh, my goodness. Jackie says, yep, I confess. I ate the pizza and then stupid pizza dough dessert thingies. It's all Bob's fault. Hey, we've done that. Like, Chandra would be like, pizza sounds good. And then I was like, where do you want it from? We are not very supportive. When we're good, we're good. When we're good together, we're good together. But sometimes she'll be like, so she was joking with me yesterday about the Crumbl cookie. People had brought them into her work and she had not eaten them at work. So instead of that, she came home and they were here. So, but she was like, cookies just don't look good, blah, 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 blah. But maybe those Gideon cookies, the cookies from Gideon's, which is in Disney Springs. And I was like, you got to be careful because if you say the wrong thing, I could be in Atlanta by the time I realize you're joking. Be on my way down there getting cookies from Disney World. Cordelia is in the house from Albany. Good morning from Albany, New York. Well, thank you for being here, Cordelia. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. It's good to see you. And Amy says, I don't think I have better credentials. I think you do. I think you do. And Cordelia is trying out Chris Cook in Nashville's pancakes this morning. Congratulations. They are probably delicious. I've had his waffles. I've had his mashed potatoes. I've had his Ritz crackers. The man knows how to cook. I wish he lived closer to me. I wish he didn't live 5 hours away. If he lived in the same city as me, it would be a problem. He'd be like, look, I know we're friends, but don't be here every day. Oh, my goodness. And Amy says, and I know she's not here, but she says, it's hard, Dustin. I want everyone to be as strict as me. I have to have grace with clients. We have to understand that our clients don't always want to be as strict as we think they should be. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help them find the balance that's going to work for them. Because that's truly what's important here, is finding the balance, finding what works for them, but not overly strict that causes them to give up. We want them to find the happy balance of consistency without overcomplicating or making things so difficult on themselves that they just give up. We want to find that homeostasis or whatever the word is, right? We want to find that spot, the sweet spot, the place where it's easy. It's just what you do and you're not longing for things. And it's a very kind of complicated place to find because it's a different spot for each and every one of us. Still got to scroll so quick through these. John Gugahan's gone to church. Angie says, I will say the more consistent and strict about what I eat, the more I get sick on something that's off plan. It's not tempting if you feel terrible after consumption. Like Amy said, sometimes it is. And sometimes it's just worth it. And that's the sad part because in your heart of hearts that if you eat it, you're going to feel like crap, but it tastes so good in the moment. And that's hard to reconcile. And Charlie, our good friend Charlie is here. Mr. Darth Carnivore says, the tipping point depends on a person. Truly believing their status quo is unbearable compared to the change required. Highly individual per person. For me, it was when I was unable to put on my shoes. I get to that point where I'm like, I struggle to put my socks on. Or I'm putting my shoes on. Or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wear flip-flops. And Christy says, I agree about the specific reasons, but I also think that people have their own specific reasons, but they don't realize or believe it's the food. Many of them still think farmer will help. That's another thing that we have to try to cut through that noise as well. How do we get your general practitioner? Can you go to your general practitioner and say, listen, I have these issues and I'm trying to figure out why I have these issues. And I want to try food first. I don't want to take a medication to cover up a symptom. I want to get to the root cause. How many doctors do we think would be receptive to this approach? Would they even have an understanding of where to begin? How many of them would say, well, you need to do a Mediterranean diet? How many would say you got to go vegetarian or vegan? What would they say? I guess it also depends on where are those, what doctor is, or what is the doctor's biases. Also, I don't know. So many weird questions, so many avenues to discuss. And Brian's right. You can lead people to water, but you can't make them drink. Carl says, Evelyn says, I have to buckle down and work on my self-control. She's right, of course. Well, for me, I understand. So for me, self-control comes with consistency. I find it easier for me to be more, have more self-control the more consistent I am. But it's, again, getting to be consistent is also dependent on being able to say no a few times. So that's where there has to be some amount of willpower. There has to be some drive, some dedication. All these things have to coalesce and become one solid, cohesive thing that we're working towards. It's a lot of moving pieces. And Pete says, it started as dirty keto, then clean keto, then ketovore, then carnivore. It took about a month or two to transition, and it helped me transition with no keto flu or bathroom issues. Yeah, keto flu, you can really get into all of this without the keto flu if you are really hitting the electrolytes pretty hard and not giving up things like caffeine right away. If you're trying to dump caffeine, pick your battles. I think that's also when it comes to the diet soda, pick your battles. Is giving up diet soda going to lead to other things that are worse, or what? Pick your battles too. I don't know. Our friend JJ is here. Congratulations on becoming a homeowner, my friend. I'm truly, truly excited for you. So very glad that you're in that spot where you're able to do that. But he says, good morning, y'all. I get what you're saying about need to change. I'm currently displaced, living with my sister, waiting to move into my new home. The struggle is real. Yes, it is so real. My struggle is every day. And I have a 7-year-old trying to put food in my face all the time. She's like, here, eat this, eat this, eat this. Let's see. Let's try to get through these chats. I'm still at about an hour. Yeah, and Reese is right. Guilt has an impact on your mental health. Yes. Mr. Biscuit is here. Summer schedule's killing me. Sup, fam? Welcome, Mr. Biscuit. So very glad to see you, my friend. How are you doing? So glad that you're here, my friend. Yes, and Aaron says you can't change the past. You can only control today. You can't control tomorrow. You can control today. And even that's hit or miss. And let's see. Retired Rick says you're welcome to come into mine anytime, hump day. So Wednesday lives. Okay. All right. I'll see what we can do. Pete says, my sister, who is a physician, is almost 400 pounds, has lipedema, barely walk, yet I'm the crazy and irresponsible because I'm carnivore. I've been skinny off all meds for almost 4 years. So sad I'm tired. It is such a difficult thing, right? It is so difficult to see a family member and then they see what you're doing, and there has to be some curiosity there, right? There has to be some look at that and go, you know, I understand that he's doing something that works for him. But there's fear. There's, I don't want to give up what I'm eating. I don't want to give up the foods that I love. I don't know. I don't know. I wish there's no real answers here. You can't force someone to do something. You can't guilt them into it. She's obviously seen what works for you. But she's got that, if she's a physician, I'm not sure what type of physician she is. But it's scary. So very scary. Oh, I mean, it really is. I mean, we see these influencers all the time. These very larger than life is how I'll put this, influencers. And people talk so much smack to them in the comments about how big they are, what they're eating, but nobody has any real understanding of the issues that are underlying. Somebody says, you know, and then people will talk about, you know, I'm doing this, and then they'll put out like, I had avocado and steak and eggs, and like, that's just too many calories. Yeah, it's crazy. There's nothing we can do that's going to appease people, but I mean, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but like, I just wish we had more answers. Like, I wish we had a better way. I wish there was a better way to help our loved ones. There's got to be some kind of like psychology involved. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what it is. Aaron says, Dustin, I can say for someone with a super small channel, lives with a few people, I appreciate the few minutes you pop in for. It shows you care. But yeah, that's my thing. Is like, I don't have always the time to stay for entire lives, because some people go live for hours. I don't always have an hour. But I do try to get in and say hi to people and just be there. And I like pop into new channels, small channels, big channels. As I moderate big channels, I help out Chris and Dr. Barry. I'm moderator for Christy. I'll be moderating her channel Monday when she has Dr. Barry. I think it's Monday with Dr. Barry at 1 p.m. Is that correct? Is that correct, Christy, if you're still here? I can look that up and probably put that in the chat as well, so we make sure we get plenty of people here. Again, make sure we're following High Calorie Human. He's a lot of fun. I watched his live the other day. He's got a big personality. Let me go ahead and find Christy's channel here real quick, because I want to talk about, because she's going to have Dr. Barry on Monday, I do believe. Let me look and double check that here. There we go. Dr. Barry is the 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today is the 12th. Yes, is that tomorrow? What is today? Today is the 12th. Tomorrow's the 13th. So I will put this in the chat here for everybody. Meeting Wellness with Dr. Barry. So be ready for that tomorrow. Let's see. Evelyn is in chatting here a little bits and pieces. And Amy says, my cheating is cheese and flavored salty. Is that really cheat? You know what? I don't even like the word cheat. I don't know. I think it's like a weird word. I don't know. Karen Harrington is here. She says, I feel like you two with some of these bigger meetups, it becomes overwhelming plus expensive. Yeah, like the idea of going to like meat stock sounds amazing, but it's like 6,000 people. Whew, overwhelming. And I mean, to me, like one of the big pieces is if I had the money, I could just be like, okay, it's done. And then I'm like, well, I'm off. But like the idea is so stressful to me. Like, how do I come up with the money? Then how do I get there? Then I'm stressed about because I spent so much money. Like it's more money to go to meat stock than it was basically to pay for me to take a class to become a health coach. And I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just saying that my financial situation is as such where that is a major deciding factor for me. Like even like KPL, like the hotel is $700. That is so much money. So much money. So I just go and and just sleep in my car at a truck stop. Goodness. And I'm not against that. I'm not against sleeping at Buc-ee's. I'm not. I'll do what I got to. But it would just be nice to not have to spend that much money. It's so overwhelming. Money's so overwhelming. Whew. Brian says, meat stock is a nice new sauna for me. That's hard no for me. Maybe someday. That's the thing is like, and I know not everybody can afford to go. I would love to be able to just be like, well, I'm going to meat stock and Hack Your Health, and I'm going to low carb San Diego or wherever. I want to go to all of the things. Used to be like low carb Breckenridge and one of the first ones I ever heard of was Keto Fest. Keto Fest, which is in Connecticut, in a weird little spot in Connecticut, you know? Crazy, 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 crazy. Oh, Amy, I love pool exercise. I love stretching and doing all the things in the pool. Excuse me. Woo. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I love pool exercises. I got me a little sip of water after that. There we go. Oh, these Chris Cookie National pancakes are quite good and crispy, butter on top. I love that. I love that you're making those. They sound like everything he makes is delicious. And I hope that if you haven't had an opportunity to get his cookbook, please go over. I have links. He has links. Pre-order his cookbook. If you haven't pre-ordered Chris Cookie National's cookbook, do so. It comes out in October. The more pre-orders, the better. The more that the publisher knows that people want his book. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Again, Karen Harrington is in the house. Good morning, my dear. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Karen's getting ready to renovate a house, starting in the closet, paint, new trim, new floors. Yeah, like we just had new floors put in 2020. There's a 2021. We had new floors put in 2021. We had new floors put in 2021. It was the year that I really started doing YouTube, right? And they're already like, it's like that laminate flooring, and they've already started to like separate, and like there's gaps and all these things. Like, I don't understand, like, maybe it was shoddy install or whatever. But, yeah, well, so whenever the kids finally do move out, we'll have to redo the floors. I don't look forward to that at all. It's self-control mixed with desire. I know I want to be fit. I would much rather be fit and be able just to buy, like, if I could just buy my clothes at Costco and not worry about it, just buy pants at Costco. The shoes at Costco always drive me nuts because they always have the white soles. I don't like white soles on shoes. I know that's weird, but like pants, just being able to buy my pants and shirts and everything fits right. I don't have to worry about it and just be okay. I would love that, just to look like a normal human being in clothes. Yes. I'm trying to get through these comments. So many comments. I'm so far behind. 625 comments. You guys are amazing today. You guys are so amazing, so awesome, and so chatty. I love it. And Sharon's in the house today. Good morning, Sharon. I'm trying to see. I know I skipped by it. So many comments, but Sharon is in the house. I didn't see her comment, but someone said hi to Sharon. Hello, Sharon. I'm trying to squeeze through these comments, and if I miss you, I do apologize. Know that I love you. Truly, truly, truly. Yeah, 100%. I've been since 2008, my friend, since 2008. And now in Indiana, we don't even need a permit anymore. But it's always advisable to have one if you want to travel. It would be really nice to see. It would be really, really nice to see national reciprocity so I don't have to worry about crossing state lines. There we go. There's Sharon. Hello, Sharon. She says agreed. I'm not sure what she's agreeing to, but I'm always right. So it just makes sense. It checks out. Hardly. Especially if you ask Chandra. Karen is doing an N=1 experiment cutting coffee. I do not think that that's a good idea. But congratulations and good luck, my dear. And Brian says, Dustin, if Indiana was closer, I would show up, but 7 hours one way is too far for one. You know what? If you drove 7 hours just to hang out with me at BW3s, I would question your sanity. I am not cool enough for that. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And Brian says, I love Dr. Kiltz. I would do anything for him. I have no problem. I think he's a great dude. He's great. He seems genuine. But like, there's just not everybody is everything. You know what I mean? Like he's picking up I can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, Pete's a moderator for Dr. Kiltz. I love that. I love that. He's great. Seems like a solid, genuine guy. And Charlie says, I met Robin and Sherrod in person at last year's Impact meetup. They are great people. I love that. I can't wait to have them and talk to them a little bit more in depth on my channel. Sherry Lynn is here. Hello, Sherry Lynn. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Just getting up. We'll be listening as I am getting ready for work. Well, I apologize that you have to work on a Sunday. Yes. Money percent is change. Change, change, change. And Pete says I work until 8 today and tomorrow until 9. And Papa Carnivore says, I used to love cold pizza. I mean, at least throw it in the microwave. That's one of the things I love about an air fryer these days. Chris from Ketogenic Geek is in the house. Good morning, my friend. How are you? So very glad to see you. Look. Meat life. Meat life. Yeah, Amy says, I love cold pizza, but not steak. I haven't eaten cold burger patties either. Yeah, I'm just room temperature maybe, but, you know, what are you going to do? Angie says, I'm going to attempt to flip my queen-size mattress around. If you don't see me in the chats later, I'm stuck underneath it. How are you, like, what, 5 foot tall? Like, how are you, like, what? How big are you? We've got a king size mattress. Brian says, true. The $130 a month is a month of food. Yeah. I mean, I want to support everybody. I wish I could be a member of every channel. I wish I had money to throw around, but I just don't. Like, I have to be very careful with my pennies. Jackie says, proof that I'm not full carnivore, but carnivore-ish. We worked on the pool deck all day yesterday. Only my cheeks got a little too much sun. No sunscreen, mostly full Sunday. Yeah. I still get a little warm, a little toasty, a little extra, especially the first time being out in the sun after winter time where you've been like no sun. People talking about sunburning, not sunburning, cargo planes. I don't know what's going on. And Amy's talking about being out all day yesterday, building a pool, not getting a sunburn. Oh, let's see. Angela's in the house. There we go. Coach Angela Mullins is in the house. Good morning. So very glad to see all of you. PG's in the house. Pickle Gamer's in the house. Hello, my friend. How are you? Let's see. Getting through these comments. Lizzie's here. I guess there's a person. Lizzie's here. Lizzie's World is here. Good morning. So glad to see you. How are you, my dear? Good morning with a rose. A kiss from a rose. Again, if I miss your comment and I don't say hello to you, please yell at me a little bit. Because I am trying to get through these. There's so many that I'm packed up here. Lizzie says, I went to Walgreens the other day, and I noticed the rack was like heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, all in one huge section. Like, damn, I never noticed the meds. They just have to eat junk. Well, I think a lot of those were kind of like, you never know, like you might have like pork gives us heartburn. Just pork. Bacon gives Shanda heartburn. Peanut butter gives Shanda heartburn. So, I mean, like constipation, sometimes it happens. Diarrhea happens. Those medicines do have a place, even if you're not eating junk food. Sometimes you just get a bug and you need those things. But I think there's so much more of a need for these things just because of how much trash we eat these days, right? Robin is in the house. Hello, dear. How are you? Welcome. Glad to see you. Lizzie says, I went to the dumpling place for my birthday dinner with my daughter yesterday. I had the beef soup, so delicious, the bang bang shrimp, and I did have 3 beef dumplings. Sorry, not sorry. That was my birthday dinner. I am not mad at you at all. We went to the hot pot place like last week or whatever it was. Just trays and trays of like beef tongue and ribeye and oh yes, and lamb, so good, and scallops. I love it. It's so good, so very good. And Angie says, success. Mattress flipped. I did it. I would not have attempted this by myself 5 months ago. Well, congratulations. I'm proud of you. And Brian says, everyone has to come to this on their own. Really, they do. We can only lead by example and show them a different path. Give them options. Don't beat them to death with it. I know, we can't as much as we want to. But we know it's not going to work. We know it won't work. I wish it would, though. I wish we could. I wish we had more influence. I'm still trying to get in here. Somebody just came in my room and I had locked the door. And Lizzie says, I'll eat all the meat and have a medium potato. Whole Foods. Yes. Aaron said, huge win yesterday. I umpire and I was doing a game. One of the coach loudly said, OMG, is that Aaron? I haven't seen her in a few years. She was so loud, shocked at how I look. Looking great, feeling great. I love it. Keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. Keep it up. North Dakota Carnivore Lance is in the house. Hello, Lance. So very glad to see you, my friend. Ed John says, I don't eat or want potato chips. Just saw those chips, just to be clear. I understand. No need to explain here, my friend. No judgment, no any of that stuff, right? And Lizzie says, I have no idea what made me think of just eating potatoes. I knew to boil it, chill it first, and then eat it. I don't know. Jeremiah, our good friend Jeremiah is here. Hello, my friend. Welcome. So very glad to see you. How are you? Dance, 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 says Mr. Biscuit. Mr. Biscuit's here. We love you, Mr. Biscuit. Lizzie said, I would eat about a pound of potatoes with about 6 ounces of chicken only for 6 months. I did that at the time, stuck on peanut butter if I caught a craving, and it works. My neighbors were like, are you on the Madison? And I'm like, y'all don't see me outside and walk every day plus eating right. Okay. But I've actually gained on carnivore. And that's okay. That's fine. Medicine. Okay. And that's okay. Don't stop chatting. Always be here chit-chatting with us. You should see how awful my chats are in other people's chats, especially when I'm on my phone. If on my phone, it's rough. It's so rough. Never. Oh, this is where I don't know I don't know what's going on. Sean was doing crazy stuff here with all his chats. Diana is here. Good morning, Diana. So glad to see you, dear. Angie says, my son is high functioning autistic and 22 years old, is reading labels before purchasing foods to consume. Consume. That is a big win for him. 100%. I mean, we have to understand that we've been inundated with this crap for so long. The idea that we're going to flip a switch and it's going to be ready to go the next day is impossible. It's not realistic. Risa says, I will not ever omit zero sugar soda completely. I cut down to 2x a week and I am okay with that. I really enjoy it now. Yeah, 100%. Yes, and don't ever say never again. Just not today. And I think we have to find, like, if calling food poison works for you, great. If for me, like saying I'm never going to eat that again, that does not work for me. Just win today. I just have to beat today. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Then when tomorrow gets here, I'll beat today again. Just today. I just have to win today. That's all I have to do. And if I don't win today, then again, I will win today. Today? Is today? Yes. And Ditus says, congrats on coffee. I need coffee. I gave it up for a year once, but I was not happy about it. Terry is not in. Hello, Terry. Hello, not being in. How are you doing, my dear? Cindy says, to me, the best way to get the word out about healthy eating is to lead by example, not preaching. I preached to my kids after I did the work. Did not work. Yeah, my kids see me every day and see how I do things, and they could care less. They talk about, well, maybe we'll go keto. If they would, it would be. Our boy who just bought a house is talking about, we're doing keto, but I don't know. I'm not around to see if he's really doing it or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Cheryl Griffin is in the house. Hello. So very glad to see you. Good morning, Cheryl. I am a Coke Zero person too. Diet Coke is disgusting. Even if I don't have Coke Zero in the house, there's like right now, there's probably 4 cases of Coke or of Diet Coke downstairs. There's Diet Coke in the fridge. It's gross. I don't want it. It doesn't give me the same satisfaction that a nice ice cold Coke Zero does. And sometimes it's just a McDonald's Coke Zero hits the spot. It really just does. It's about the bubbles, the carbonation, the sweetness. It's just great. Yeah, it's like your brain doesn't distinguish the difference between real and fake sugar, but your body should. But what your brain and your body do, they don't always work so good together. I don't know. Oh, it's so crazy. And Mr. Biscuit says practice makes permanent. Perfect is an unrealistic construct. 1,000%. Cindy says, the way zero sugar affects us is carbonation expands our stomachs, something I was told to avoid after gastric bypass for that reason. I have been cutting back, or trying to anyway. Yeah, I mean, I like a good carbonated drink because it kind of just gets me to burp and it makes me feel better. I don't know. I like it. Now, PG was saying something further down in here about the idea of isn't Diet Coke worse for you than regular Coke? Now, it depends on how you look at the data. So the data that you look at, so if you go and you do a search, let's see. So if you go into diet soda studies in rats, they gave them aspartame, and they were finding things about how that aspartame impacted the rats, okay? Now, how much did they give them, and how does that relate to humans? So we're going to look at that, and I'm going to bring this up. We'll talk about it. So in the key animal studies like those, like the Rasmani Institute, rats are given very high daily doses of aspartame, ranging from 50 to 5,000 milligrams per kilogram of body weight over their lifetime. To reach this equivalent dose, a human would have to drink anywhere from 10 to over 80 cans of diet soda every single day. Now, have I ever drinking 10 cans of diet soda in a day? Probably. Every day? Absolutely not. That's expensive. But 80 cans, that's crazy. So that's PubMed. That's a PubMed outlook. That's from PubMed Central. So think about this, like, so if you look at this, because of these massive doses, animal results do not easily translate to people. Toxicology states that the dose does make the poison, obviously. Our bodies break down aspartame differently than a rat's body does. That is why major health groups have kept the human safety limit of acceptable daily intake at 40 to 50 milligrams of body weight. For a 150-pound adult, that means consuming about 14 to 22 cans of diet soda every single day. So the acceptable amount of aspartame that you could have per these studies, the World Health Organization, is between 14 and 22 cans of diet soda every single day for a 150-pound adult. Now, if you're having a soda, 2 sodas, 3 sodas a day, are you anywhere near that? Probably not. Is it the best for you? I would say no. But in the grand scheme of things, the amount of sugar that is inside of a can of soda is probably going to impact your longevity far worse than the diet soda. But again, it comes down to what's worse, smoking or vaping. I think that's kind of like, yeah. I mean, should we be drinking it? No. Aspartame is not a natural thing that's found. It's not like you're going to drink water instead of aspartame in it. Should we be drinking it? No. But we do. And I don't think it's necessarily as bad as people think it is. But again, is having a few cans of diet soda a day going to be as bad for your body in the long run as drinking, a couple of 20 ounces of Mountain Dew each day? I don't know. I would imagine that it's not as bad. But again, it's up to us on an individual basis, right? And PG says, I used to drink 2 liters of Coke or Pepsi a day, along with Del Taco 3 times a day. I was drinking for a little while here. I was drinking a 2-liter of diet soda every day because they're $1 for the Sam's Choice, $1 for Sam's Choice Coke Zero version. Or if I can get the RC Cola on sale, it would be about $1.50 a 2-liter, like 2 for $3 or something like that, 2 for $4, whatever. That's $2, whatever. But it tastes okay. So I don't know. I even like the Mountain Dew Zero from time to time. It tastes fantastic. Cheryl says, I've been hooked on keto cookie dough. It's so good. I make it every day. Oh my goodness. Is that cookie dough with almond flour is what Cindy is asking? We'll look and see. We'll see if we can find what that is here. Brian says a calorie is defined as the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 millimeter of water by 1 degree Celsius. How does that affect what we are eating? Right. So it's like you're physically burning food. You can physically burn sawdust, but you eat sawdust, your body's not going to break it down. So it all depends on what we're eating, actually physically what we're eating. Because how many calories is in sawdust? If you go by a bomb calculator, how many, let's see. How many calories would be in sawdust? Sawdust is about 4 calories per gram if you burn it. So equals to about 130. So it'd be 1,130 calories per cup. However, your body cannot break down wood. For humans, sawdust contains 0 digestible calories. I think that's a way. Is it food or is it sawdust? Like, that's like when you look at, like, your body's going to break down steak. Okay. You're going to eat 1,000 calories of steak. Your body's going to burn that. It's going to get nutrition and it's going to use energy to burn that food, and it's going to use energy to rebuild the body with that food, with that protein. I think that we're looking at things completely wrong. I think calories is an easy way to look at quantity of food. Like you should probably have X number of calories, but I don't even think that that's correct. I think a better way to look at things is macros. You should aim for 100 grams of protein a day. The average person should be a bare minimum of 100 grams of protein a day. whole food protein, meat, animal-based protein, not protein powders, not protein drinks, not that kind of stuff. And then you should be having animal fats. It really shouldn't be that complicated. And PG says, did you know that the cans are lined with plastic? I did. Now, one thing to know about the studies that we see about, am I gonna sit here and tell you that I think that the microplastic issue is not concerning, because I think it absolutely is. But I think one of the things that we have to look at is, I think a lot of the microplastic studies have been tainted by the plastic gloves that the people were wearing doing the testing. They found that the gloves that the people were doing during the tests was leaving a significant amount of plastics in the testing. Now, am I saying that we shouldn't be concerned about it? Absolutely not. We should be very concerned about microplastics. Plastic lining in cans, plastic bottles. Even plastic lids here. Like, this is a stainless steel cup, but I still got a plastic lid. But once you go down the rabbit hole of trying to eliminate anything and everything that causes your body issues, it's going to be a problem, because it's a never-ending rabbit hole. It's going to keep going. Lizzie says, if I can eat ribeye at least 3 times a week, I think I would be. Yeah, if I could eat ribeye, I like strip steaks better than ribeye. I know that's a hot take. That's the hot take. That's a hot take of the day for me. I think I like strips, a good, high-quality strip over a ribeye any day. I don't know. Brian says, calorie is just another word, phrase as PhD, keto, or carnivore. I think calorie serves just enough. It's a generic way to show measurements of food. Is it accurate? I don't think we have any concept of truly how our body breaks down food and utilizes what we consider calories. And you'll have these calories in, calories out bros who are like, calorie deficit, you gotta get a calorie deficit, man. And they're talking shit about all these people who are like, it only works because you're in a caloric deficit. It's thermodynamics, man. It's thermodynamics. And I don't think thermodynamics has anything to do with the human body. Do we generate heat? Yes. But we are not burning with fire the food that we take in. We don't generate enough heat to boil water. We don't get hot enough to boil water. If we did, we would be dead. Or we'd be Rocky. We'd be Rocky from the book. The book that I love that I can't think of right now because of course I'm talking about it, I can't remember it. Project Hail Mary. Rocky from Project Hail Mary. Anyway, yes. Mr. Biscuit can't go near cookies. Yeah. Those things are very hard to moderate. Like for me, cookies, like the problem is if there's one cookie, I'm eating one cookie. If there's 2 cookies, I'm eating 2 cookies, unless I have to share with somebody. But yeah. It takes time. It takes time. Living with people who are eating differently than you takes time. It just truly does. But it's never going to be 100%. Mr. Dish says 97% consistent and 3% is whole fruit or veg. Consistent at what the word carnivore. I think I'm looking at more consistency with what you consider to be your optimal daily intake. How do you want to eat each day? How do you feel about your day? Because my day may be different than your day. My optimal day may be different than yours. How do we look at that? And Cheryl says the cookie dough is made with protein powder, vanilla flavored, or peanut butter, sugar-free chocolate chips. It's so good. I make it. I try not to eat it, but I walk by it and I eat every time I come in the kitchen. Yes. I'm sure that I can make keto chow cookie dough. It'd probably be so yummy. Bride's Biscuit says, my entire house is standard American diet. Every counter and cupboard, every minute. I'm the only carnivore I know in real life. Hopefully one day we'll fix that, Mr. Biscuit. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Sharon's never really been a foodie. She's very grateful. I kind of wish I wasn't. I kind of wish it was just me. But I mean, if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't even be here sitting in front of you talking today. Angela says she's making Chris's pancakes this morning. Also, my grandchildren are testing them. I love it. So 2 people making Chris Cooking Naturals pancakes today. I love it. Again, I'm still an hour behind in these chats today, ladies and gentlemen. So far behind. So many amazing comments. You guys have really come through today. You guys are truly amazing. Yeah, Mr. Dish says, Dustin, we need the people to create the rule of the land and stop all the commercials and schools teaching to support big businesses, pharma, food. I don't see that. Well, I mean, we've been having food commercials since TV, since radio. Think about like Little Orphan Annie with the Dakota rings and drink your Ovaltine. That was the 30s and 40s and 50s into this, you know what I mean? We've been doing that forever. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of food advertising. Like we got to where they didn't advertise cigarettes on TV, but they were in print and billboards. Yeah, Angela says, my vascular doctor is against saturated fats, even avocado oil. Like, I would ask just some, like, so people who give up the saturated fats, do they get better? And what do they say? I'm just curious. I'm just trying to get through these. I'm so many. So many. Mary T is here. Good morning, Mary. How are you? Glad I caught you. I slept in. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Mary. So very glad that you have joined us. Happy birthday. I would sing to you. Maybe I will. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miss Mary T. The wonderful, great, and powerful Mary T. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate you. And PG, I would say waffles. I love my waffles. I love them. Maybe you could give them a try. My waffles are 3 simple ingredients. 3 simple ingredients. Eggs, mayonnaise. I use Chosen Foods mayo. I buy it from Costco. And beef gelatin powder that I get from Walmart. And I put them in my big 4x4 dash mini, big 4x4, 4 square, 4-inch waffles. And I make egg and cheese sandwiches with them. They are amazing. I love them so very much. I love them. Mr. Brian Doyle is finishing his round. Have a great day. Thank you again for listening while you golf today, my friend. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Mr. Biscuit says, we are the most propagandized society on the planet, full stop. I know it goes outside of the United States. I mean, I know we're inundated with pharmaceuticals, but one of the ways that I deal with the pharmaceutical ads is we don't have TV. We have Netflix and like Disney Plus and Hulu and stuff, but we don't have the commercials. Whenever we try to watch something on what's it called? Amazon Prime. Now they have commercials there. We don't watch anything there anymore because it's like Guardians commercials all day long. So we're not inundated with commercials. We do see ads in Facebook, but you can choose like ads. If you don't like an ad on Instagram or Facebook, you can tell them, I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to see pharmaceutical ads. I don't want to see this kind of ad anymore. And you get to choose. You get to choose. Not so much with Amazon, at least with the TV, but you can choose in the ads that you see in social media. That's one of the big things. Like, I can tell Twitter, I don't want to see this kind of ad. You know? And Mr. Dish says, everybody in charge is telling us what they want us to think. That's never gonna stop. As far as there's been humans, there's been someone telling us what to think. Be afraid of the big hot monster in the sky. Be afraid. If you don't do this, we'll get a flood. Thank you so much, Sharon. Yeah. New Zealand and U.S. are the only two countries in the world allowing pharma ads, but I think that New Zealand has so much different than the United States. Uncle Charlie asked, how much does it cost for a health coach license, and what do you do with it when you get it, and how do you make money with it? Thank you. So, there's no real licensure involved. You just get certified. So it costs whatever the class is. Like Dr. Kilt's class costs, I don't know, $500 to $1,000 or whatever. Dr. Barry's class for me was $3,500. I think it's now $4,000 or $4,500. I'm not quite sure. There's the Primal Health Coach. There's different ones, and they all cost different things. And then once you have your certification, then you just kind of set up your business. That costs probably another $1,000 if you do it. And then you just start bringing in clients, and you can charge them, whatever, you can charge them by the hour. You can charge them rates. You can do groups. There's ways to make money. I mean, it's just a way to keep helping people, but make it to where you can help more people. And again, our Pickle Gamer's in the house. I know I think he switched over to his PG Talks. So give PG Talks a follow. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can put his chat in here, put his channel so we can make sure that we are following Mr. PG Talks. He's got 230 subscribers. He is new to the carnivore. He's been doing carnivore at least 30 days. Here is Mr. PG Talks. There's his channel. Be sure to go ahead and follow him. Yep, he said wrong account. He's there. There you go. Do I stream to other platforms? I stream to Facebook, YouTube, X, and to Rumble. And currently it says that I'm getting people watching on Rumble. I'm getting people watching on YouTube and X. Nobody on Facebook. And Rick is gone. I'll see Rick tomorrow. He and Lynn and I are getting together for lunch, or dinner rather, with Jennifer and Jaqueline. Getting through these comments. Diana says that we still have to live and enjoy our lives. We can be perfect and never go back to bad eating and get by a truck, and we'll never know how long we're going to be here. Balance and consistency. 100%. 100%. So you're talking about my waffles. Yeah, I've got a video about the waffles. So for my 4x4 waffle maker, 3 eggs, 100 grams of mayonnaise, 15 grams of beef gelatin. I take the eggs and the mayonnaise and I whip them together. I work them together first, and then I slowly incorporate the gelatin, let it set while the waffle iron gets heated up. I put those in there and I cook those. I don't pay attention to the light. The light on the waffle maker doesn't really tell you anything. It's just a cycle for the heat, lets you know when it's up to temperature. So it kind of cycles through temperature. It doesn't tell you that the waffle is done. I set a timer for 9 minutes. I pull that out, and then at a time I will mix up 2 eggs. Then I pour the eggs in the waffle maker, like over the 2 of the squares. Then it always bleeds into the other side. And I flip those over. I flip up the little straggler ends into the main body of the 2 eggs, the 2 waffle size on top. Then I put a slice of cheese and fold that over, put it on. Oh, it's so good. It's so good and easy. So quick, and so easy. Isabella's heading to Mitch's live. Thank you so very much. That time again already. Mr. Lyons, Danivore is here. Hello, Dan. Good morning, Dustin. Sorry, late to the party. World Cup was on last night. Woke up post 8 a.m. Last Sunday. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, yeah. PG is like so kind. Yeah, that's what we do. I try to share everybody's channel here. I want to make sure that we are building a strong, healthy, wide-reaching community. That's what we want to do here. We want to make sure that, you know, I don't want to be a gatekeeper. I don't want to be somebody who only wants people to watch me. No, watch everybody. There's plenty of channels because you're going to have an insight that I may not have that may help somebody else that they may not get from me. And that's okay. I want to make sure that we're all here and we're all getting the information we need regardless of which channel, right? It's just no butter, no syrup. Now you can, so the other day I took that batter and I put it into a pan, like a skillet, and I made like a pancake out of it, and it's very silky. It's almost like did you ever have like my grandmother used to make me fried mush, like cornmeal mush, and it had that consistency as a pancake. So you take that egg and the mayonnaise and the gelatin mixture, and it kind of gives you a pancake that has that mush. You could put a little bit of butter. I didn't put any syrup on it. I just put butter on it, and I really liked it. So that was very, very good. But yeah, butter. I love it. But yeah, I just make the egg and cheese sandwiches out of them. You can do what else do I use them for? You can also put bacon on it, sausage on it, whatever you want to do. Just sometimes for me, just just eggs and cheese and maybe some bacon. If I feel like making bacon, but like if I don't feel like it, like I said, I'll just whip up that stuff, put it in there, and then I just make the eggs. Or you can do 3 eggs if you want to. So, I mean, realistically, then you're getting 2 sandwiches comes out of the 3 eggs and the mayonnaise. So there's 4, so that's 2 sandwiches. And if you wanted each sandwich to be 3 eggs and some cheese, so then you're getting 9 eggs and that's a lot of protein. 9 eggs, that's a decent amount of protein for 2 sandwiches, you know? And Diana, yeah, 100,000% community is the most important. I am not always going to hit a topic that somebody needs to hear. That's where everybody else comes in. Chris Cook in Nashville is going to give you information that I'm not going to. Dr. Barry is going to give you loads more information than I'm ever going to. Someone may listen to you, PG, and hear something that they need to hear. Then there is the high calorie guy that I posted a little bit earlier. He's got Lyme disease. He talks about having Lyme disease. He's giving you information that I can't because I don't have Lyme disease. Knock on wood. All the different channels are going to give you different information, different perspectives. I don't claim to have anything better to say than anybody else. I only have my perspective, my lived experience, what I did yesterday. How did I handle what I did yesterday? What do I plan How do I plan to live my life today? What do I think tomorrow might look at? That's all I have. Amy's out of church already, and Dustin's still on. It's been a while since I've gone 3 hours. It's been a while. Usually, been the last few weeks, last few months, I've been doing an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's been a while since I've gone the full 3 hours. It's been a while. It's been a while. It has been a long time since I've done 3 solid hours. But you guys really showed up today. You showed up with all these amazing chats and questions and talking points and things that some of them that I had to skip over. I mean, I was an hour behind in the chat for most of the day, but I was long-winded in the beginning because I had a lot to say. I was sitting here last night putting this live together. I go through and I type everything out that I want to talk about. I type out kind of like brain dump my ideas. And I put it in, and I do this in Chat GPT. So I just dump my brain into like what I've been thinking about all week. It's like a diary almost. And I just kind of have it put things in order for me so that when we sit down on a Sunday morning, I have something cohesive to say. It helps me. It helps me, my chaotic mind, put it in order to give me something how I want to talk about things. It helps me, really, truly helps me. And Sean, 100%, everybody needs to talk about their stories and to share their stories, their experiences. It's so very important. And Aaron's asking, what streaming service do I use? I am currently using EV Mux. Let's see. Can I share my screen and show you what this looks like? Let me see. It should. Let me see. Yeah, for some reason it won't let me show this entire screen. Let's see here. Let's share that here real quick here. Let's see. It's not showing me what I want to show you. That's not what I want. Okay, let's try this again. That's not what I want either. It's not going to let me show you EV Mux, I don't think. Oh, well. I switched to EV Mux. I used to use StreamYard. I used StreamYard for years and years. StreamYard for years and years was $25 a month. And then they decided to raise it up because I pay monthly. I don't have enough money to pay for an annual fee. But then they went up and they made it $45 a month. And I was like, that's too much money. So I switched to EV Mux. EV Mux gives me a lot of versatility. It allows me to add these overlays and moving backgrounds and things that you can do as well over on StreamYard, but not as effectively. I had to finagle a lot of the overlays. So this makes it a lot easier for me. There are some things that I wish that I could do with this because I pay $25 a month for EV Mux, but I want to be able to stream both vertical and horizontal. But if I'm going to do that with EV Mux, I have to bump up to their $50 a month plan, which just puts me right back in the same circumstances if I was with StreamYard. There's things about EV Mux that I don't like, but I do like the overall flexibility of being able to make the screen look exactly the way I want it. It looks good on TV because a lot of you are probably watching on TV or your computer. Like most of you are probably watching on a TV, I think. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of where I'm at. Mary T says, I'm glad you went 3 hours. I would have missed you. I retire in 12 more shifts. I'm sitting here, ear hustling and RV shopping. Oh my goodness. What kind of RV are you going to get? I'm going to get a big one. PG Talks has never heard of that. I use OBS. And Amy uses OBS. I like the streaming services that don't put the resources on my computer. I like them handling the power. I just like the overlay type thing. So this is a, an in-browser thing that it handles for me. PG says, I tried OBS and Restream together. My upload speed got better, so now I just use OBS with plugins to multi-stream, but I hardly multi-stream. So I sent it out to 4 locations. I would like to be able to do vertical and horizontal on YouTube, but again, I don't have access to that currently just because I haven't updated the tier. Maybe if I have an opportunity to make more money later on and I can afford to do and have more to put into it, but I know I like the idea of vertical because vertical opens you up to more spontaneous viewership. But with the spontaneous viewership, then you have more trolls and more things like that. But I typically keep this locked down. You have to be subscribed to me for at least 5 minutes. But if I were to do the vertical integration and do vertical as well, a lot of the channels now are doing vertical and horizontal. If I were to do that and add the vertical component, I would then probably move it to 10 minutes. Be subscribed to 10 minutes. And it's going to keep people from being able to say, they're not going to wait 10 minutes to talk trash, most likely. Most likely, right? No big RV, just 25-foot Class C to tootle around in here. Already live in God's country. We have 2 years worth of campgrounds just within a 100-mile radius. That's wonderful. I think about that, then you could go to all of the big events, like all the big keto and carnivore events. You don't even necessarily need to go to the event. Just pull up in the campground nearby and then just do little meetups with people at restaurants. Sounds awesome. But I think we've been going for over 3 hours. I think we'll start to wind this down. Yeah. So one of the things, again, just to kind of talk about what we talked about, just kind of break down what we talked about this episode. If you just joining us and you want to go back and listen to more of this, then just where I'm at here is the idea that have we been asking the wrong questions? Maybe the question isn't what's the perfect diet. Maybe it's what's the next better choice this person is actually willing to make. Because again, we're not talking about the people here in this chat. We're talking about our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, our moms, our dads, our neighbors, our coworkers, the people that we see at church, the people that need to make a change, regardless if they understand that or not. We know what and I'm not trying to say that we're better than them because we're not. But we have come to understand what we would like to see them do. Because if we can help enough people make one better choice today than they made yesterday, eventually those choices become habits, those habits become lifestyles, those lifestyles change families, communities, and maybe one day an entire culture. Right? Again, that's like the turning point. That turning point, where do we get? What's the point where we as a society have changed enough lives to truly start an overall cultural shift? That's about 25%. How do we get there? Maybe it is recommending to your friends and family who eat lots of potato chips, the potato chips that are cooked in beef tallow instead of seed oils, that are just potato, beef tallow, and salt. Maybe that's the place. Maybe that's where they start. Is that something that you were going to eat? Is that something that fits with your lifestyle? Most likely, if you're here in this chat today, probably not. But for them, it might be the catalyst, the step in the right direction that gets them down a path to start looking at things and start making better choices and making an understanding that they can make a difference in their own health. Because I think for most of us, before we found this lifestyle, we felt hopeless, we felt lost, we felt stuck. We didn't think that we had any power over what was going to happen to us or how we felt every day. Myself, I can only talk about me, but I know how I felt. I was taking allergy medicines every day, multiple times a day, and ibuprofen every day, multiple times a day. I had heartburn medicine every day. I had it at work. I had it at home. I had it in the car. Same thing with my allergy medicine, with my ibuprofen. We had ibuprofen tucked and stashed everywhere. I had not the slightest idea that I could make such a big impact on who I am and how I eat and how that would impact my body and how I feel day to day. That's the knowledge that we want to share. That's the knowledge that we want people to get from us. That's what we're dying on the inside to get out. And we want to get it to our friends, our family, our coworkers, our loved ones, those people we see every day, the random people we see at the grocery store. I want to shout it from the rooftops, but I know that it will fall on deaf ears. So if we can, little by little, one choice at a time, one product at a time, one meal at a time, one rabbit hole at a time, we can get people to start taking themselves seriously, taking and understanding that they have more control over how they feel by what they put in their bodies than they could ever imagine. Then maybe, just maybe, we have the possibility to find success here. We've seen it. We've seen the top of the mountain. But how do we get others to see it? The vernacular that we choose, the words we choose, how we share when we talk to others, how we share what we're doing. Do we use the catchphrases like keto, carnivore, proper human diet? Or do we dumb it down and say, oh, I'm just doing a single ingredient whole food approach? I'm reading my labels. I'm just trying to be more conscious. We have to make sure we're kind of just dumbing it down a little bit, right? But anyway, that's what I wanted to kind of get across today. It's what I wanted to talk about today, and I think I accomplished that at least a little bit. Let me know in the comments. Let me know after this is done in the comments. Did I do a good job? Did I make a good point? Has it given you something to think about? How can we utilize this information moving forward? How do we do what we need to do? It's going to take all of us. It's going to take me and PG and Mary T and Brian and Diana and Amy and everybody here in this chat today. It's going to take Andy and Susan and Sean, all of you, Risa, every one of you, all of you, to make a difference. And I'm truly, truly thankful and ecstatic and over the moon that you guys came and hung out with me today. You guys are so very active in the chat today. So crazy. And I love each and every one of you. I just want you to know that. And with that, here comes the credits. These are as updated as they can be. It shows all the memberships, all the members that I have. Thank you all so very much for supporting me. And until Tuesday, I will see you Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, or 8 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tuesday Night Live. Okay, everybody? I love your faces. Here comes the credits, everybody.